Hello, everyone. Welcome to Adobe Live. I'm your host. I'm so excited. This is my first live stream in 2022. I put my stars on my face. I'm ready to bring some energy. I'm really excited to see you guys bringing some energy in the chat as well. Hello, Voodoo Bell and Russell, Raphael, Muna, Laura. Hey, Laura. So good to see you this year. I love seeing all familiar faces in the chat. And we've got Ruben here today. I'm so excited because we've met on Instagram. We've chatted on Instagram, but we've not like hung out live. So we get to hang out live for the next 2 days, which I'm really excited to get to know you better and ask you all the questions.
Definitely.
Yeah. So before we get started, just wanted to let you know, if you guys are interested in Illustrator, please check out the second week of Illustrator Daily Creative Challenge with Julia Vega every weekday at 11:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's right before this stream. Also, if you are on YouTube, great, but also come on over to Behance, so b.net/Adobe Live. If you actually want to engage with us in the chat, you get to ask questions. I get to ask them to Ruben. So feel free to connect with us there. All right, so Ruben is like an influencer on Instagram. He's known as UI UX creative. He's got over 90,000 followers. He's always posting up videos and content that's helping out new UX designers. And this is my first time hosting you, so I'm so excited. Welcome to the show. Please let us know a little more about who you are and what you do and what you're going to be doing over the next 2 days.
Yes, that's awesome. Thanks so much, everyone, Adobe, for putting this together. The people behind this, thank you so much. Elizé, it's a pleasure to meet you finally in a live, and I'm just like excited and really pumped to, to give people a little bit of, to get to know me a little bit better as far as like who I am as a designer, and also we're gonna give you tips, tricks, advice on processes and stuff that we don't like, but it's going to be awesome. So without further ado, I put together something for you guys. I put together a little bit of a presentation so you get to know me a little bit better. So what do you think, Elizé?
Yeah, please. And I like how you made it in XD. So that's, quite, it's nice that you're presenting in XD with an XD presentation.
Of course. That's what it's all about. So let's get started. So hello, friends, everyone there in the chat. I'm Ruben. My last name is Cespedes, but we're going to keep it at Ruben. Like Elizé said, I'm known on Instagram as UI UX creative. I'm a senior product designer. I'm a content creator, and I'm a mentor. And this is something that I really am passionate about. Like this started like long time ago, 16 years ago. I'm from Dominican Republic, Caribbean island. I'm from, the heat, even though like I live in PA, which is pretty cold. Like my body, it's used to the cold, but I still miss that warmth and that heat from the Caribbean for sure. Perfect. A few things about me, fun facts, and also some of the brands that I've worked in the past. Companies like Pfizer, Showtime, Volvo Trucks, Mack Trucks, Dell. I have worked for about 16 years in this industry. So I would say 16 years in the design industry and probably 10, 12 years in the UX. So it's like a mix in between those two. I've been dealing with so many different projects throughout my entire career. I started as a simple graphic designer, but evolved to, a print designer, a flash designer at one point, web designer, interactive, then UX, then product. So, you get the little bit of what I have done in the past. And I have done so many different projects. Like, I think I was calculating the other day how many projects that I have done in the past, and it's way more than 1,000 projects. So
wow.
Imagine that from 2004, 2005. That's when I started my career, working on projects every single week till today, which is like 16, almost 17 years later. It's just insane. From, like I said, from doing like on Pfizer, for example, I remember I worked on window displays, right? Like in New York City. So this is something totally different from what I'm doing today, but because of that experience, I get to do what I do today, like, because I learned from that and then evolve, and then, all the things that I learned, pass it through who I am today. Fun facts about me. I wanted to be a doctor and not a designer, but that's something, it's a long story, but if you want to find out about that, I put it on Medium. So if you go to Medium/Ruben Cespedes, you're going to read about it. And I think you're going to enjoy that. I'm a proud Dominican. Like I said, I'm coming from Dominican Republic. I have 3 kids and a beautiful wife. I'm bilingual, so I speak both languages, Spanish and English. You don't believe me? Yo hablo español y también sé. No, I'm just kidding. I'm 37, even though like some people might think I'm like 25, but I'm like, no, I'm 37, almost 40, but I'm proud of it. But at the same time, it's just like, I can't believe I'm 37, but it is what it is.
Wisdom.
Yes. And then the genes from my mom, of course.
Mm-hmm. You're lucky you get to be 23 still on the outside and 37 on the inside,
Right. I love that. I don't like, one fun fact about me, I don't like to have a single notification on my phone. That's something that I don't like. It's just me, maybe, I don't know, somebody has something different, but it's just me. If I have something in there, it needs to be clear. I need to know what it is or take care of it right away. And finally, I love Marvel and DC. And I put that I know in between, parentheses, because, Marvel and DC are rivals and all that fun stuff. But I'm a fan of both of them. I just enjoy the content that they put out. So that's pretty much it. Any questions about these fun facts, just let me know in the chat. Elizé, if you have something, just let me know. If not, then I'll continue.
Well, I like that people are talking about, we have Heaver who wanted to be a psychologist. And it's so awesome to see all the different backgrounds of what led people to this field. And for me, I was like a performing artist. So I'd love to know in the chat, like, what were your guys' backgrounds? What led you here? And maybe what are you still doing right now that might be completely different than UX?
Still, medicine has a little piece of location in my heart. Like, it never left, because I love medicine. But as a designer, I wouldn't change being a designer for anything, because this is who I am, and I was meant to be this. So I embraced it, and I just love it. So let's continue with the little presentation. So here are some of my 1,000 projects, from one of the 1,000 projects. From, like I said, this is Pfizer, the window displays. This was an amazing project. I learned so much. I remember I was like, that was back in 2007. And I was just learning in New York City as a designer. I was just like in the mecca of design. And at that time, 2007, 2006, creating these billboards in New York City, 42nd Street. It was just amazing. BIC, for example, this is a product page that I work for them. Penske used trucks. I don't know if you guys have seen those yellow trucks in the road. I never noticed them until I started working on this Penske truck website. And then I started noticing all the yellow trucks everywhere. And I'm like, oh my God, so this website is huge. I didn't know about this. But, these are some applications. This is a cable company. This is something called Follett, which is for medical stuff. So I've been in so many different industries. So that's why I said like experience is, it's, you know, like it's what you want to get out there. As a designer, you need to experience everything from left to right, different industries. So that way, you know, and you have knowledge of kind of like everything. I mean, you won't cover everything, but at least you have knowledge of something. So those were great portfolio pieces. Conquering UI Design. Conquering UI Design is my baby. It's a design, it's a UI design book that is just like it. I worked on it last year. It's over 100 pages of, you know, great content, design principles that you as a designer need to master. I get in my mentees asking me like, how can you have so cool designs and amazing looking designs? And it's like, it's all about design principles, right? When we talk about design something, design, it's about decision making. It's about decisions. Like, you know, that typeface that you choose, you know, that color, that, you know, everything, hierarchy, color, balance, everything is a choice. So you have to educate yourself on that. And that's why I wrote this book, to help designers around the world to, you know, go read this book, level up your skills, you know, check the do's and don'ts sections for each one of those chapters, and you know, start making kick-ass, you know, like designs. So this is my baby. If you want to know more about it, just go to my Instagram page. The link is in the bio, UI UX Creative. This is kind of like a little bit of intro and kind of like what's inside the book, some do's and don'ts, the author. Look at how cool I'm looking with my hat in there. I'm just kidding. Social media channels. Both TikTok and Instagram are UI UX Creative. On YouTube, you can find me as Ruben Cespedes. And then if you want to take a look at my website and just like, you know more about me, check out my other projects, case studies that I have, just go to rubencespedes.net or .com and you will find me there. That's very much it.
Awesome. We love learning more about you. And there's a lot of facts I didn't know about you, as far as like, you know, doctor, well, I think I kind of knew you probably like DC with all those hats. I was like, okay, someone likes their comics. I know because my husband's into it. So, but yeah, it's great to get to know you more. What are you going to be covering over the next couple of days?
Yes, let's go to the project. So let's pull this up. All right. So what we have here, it's an anime. What we're going to be doing these 2 days, it's an anime discovery app, right? So today, Monday, we're going to be a project introduction. Of course, we're going to talk about what we're going to be doing. You kind of know a little bit, but I'm going to go into more details. We have some inspirations. Today, we're going to also do some high level, you know, information architecture. We're going to create some raw wireframes and also probably create some design visual styles. So that's today. So tomorrow, we're gonna pick a name for the app. I have a few suggestions, but I want the audience to participate and collaborate with us and just like try to pick the best name possible so we can, you know, make it real. We're going to create some components. We're going to design all the screens tomorrow. I know it's a lot, but, and then we're going to animate some prototypes and have some sort of, you know, animation and also video maybe in there, some lotties maybe. We'll see. We'll see. All righty. So for those people who don't know, so I'm going to start right away with the product introduction. Shall we?
Yes, please. I mean, I know what anime is, but I want to know what your definition of what anime is.
Yeah. Like, so, because I have so many different things, but anime, like just for people who in the chat who don't know what anime is, it's just a style of animation that originated in Japan. And when it comes to anime, we're talking about like colorful graphics, amazing storytelling, amazing stories behind it, character development, like all of this stuff, put it into a series and movies and stuff like that. Anime is composed of different categories, you know, like action packed. You have horror, you have love interest, you have, there's so many different options there that is just insane. And one thing I like about anime is that some people think that anime is just like cartoons and that's it. But animes are way more than that. Animes can lift up your spirit. Animes can have a positive impact in your life. Like it did on me. It did in so many other probably thousands people. Like, for example, this character here, his name is Goku, right? But Goku, he's perseverance, he's strong, he never gives up. So this is the type of message that anime can bring to the design community. I'm sorry, the fandom and the anime community. So this is why I love anime, because you get to pick whatever category you feel comfortable with. And in my case, I love action anime. So everything that is action, I'm probably going to watch it or recommend it to someone or ask someone, hey, can I have something that I want to watch, something that is super cool. It has cool graphics, great animations. And, that's why I love anime. So
I love it. I love hearing why you love it. And it seems like there's a lot of people in the chat who love anime as well. We're hearing like One Punch Man, Dragon Ball Z, My Hero Academia, Attack on Titan. I don't know any of these. Ruben, do you have a favorite, by the way?
Oh, yes, I do have a favorite. Right now, my favorite right now is Demon Slayer. Right now is top trending on Twitter because their animation, it's in another level. The way and this is why we love anime, especially like graphic artists and designers and stuff, because the way they use compositions and colors and transitions, it's just amazing. And Demon Slayer, just like last week, came up with this amazing masterpiece that they are above, the studio that created this anime, they went above and beyond. And what we witnessed last week or yesterday, which was last week, it was just like 2030. It was top notch, one of the best anime I have seen in my life. I'm talking about, I have 20 years watching anime, and this episode just like broke the internet. So
dang, you're selling me. Okay.
Oh no, it's just like beautiful.
Gotta watch
like,
it tonight.
the way they did it it's just amazing.
Okay, who watched it in the chat, by the way? Let us know.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about design stuff now. Although, we are getting inspiration. I love that you talk about getting inspired by anime for your UI. And so I'm wondering if we're going to be seeing any of that actually be implemented in the UI. So
of course, you're going to see that. And there are other animes that are great too. I mean, everything is subjective, I would say. Things that I might like, you might not like, but that's why there's so many categories and so many animes out there. So there's a lot of room to choose. So back to the presenting the project, and I did a little bit of research and discovery, and this is something very important, guys. Research and discovery and data. It's one of the most important things when you talking about designing an app, creating a website or something, because data is essential. Data, if you're willing to listen, it will speak to you. It will talk to you. It will tell you what the users is struggling with, what are the pain points, everything. It's in there. Like, for example, I did a little bit of research and I find out that there's not a lot of options for anime, discovery apps out there. There's not anime recommendations app out there. Maybe I will take this to the next level and actually build this, and who knows?
But I like this. You're creating something completely new.
Exactly. So there is that's why data and research is very important, because you find out things and you find opportunities. And then when you find opportunities, guess what? You're going to be successful. So many people watches anime over the world, 85 million people, which is insane. But the most, top countries like Japan being number one, of course, originated there, US, Philippines, and this is data from 2020, but I bet these have changed over the past 2 years. because new animes are coming out, and depending on the demographic and population and everything, data is changing constantly. So you got to keep up with what's out there. Little research on the demographic about, you know, age groups, and, you know, that way, you know, you kind of know like what, if people are from 18 to 29 are watching this, if they like it, people from 30 to 44, for example, and then based on this data, you make decisions, right? Like I said before, design, it's about making decisions. So this will help you make a decision for your application or any media that you're creating. But yes, and that's pretty much it for the presentation of this project. And if you guys are ready in the chat, Elizé, if you're ready, I'm ready to go to work.
I've been ready. Let's do it. Are you going to show us how you are implementing some of that research into, or the age data or anything into your design?
Kind of, a little bit, not much, because I'm trying to cover other areas in the app that are more time consuming. But like I said, data is very important. Research and discovery is very important. So that's why, like when I was thinking about like making a project, I thought about making a discovery app for anime, because there's almost none. So that way there's an opportunity right there. And that's why I took the leap, and I was like, let's do this one then.
Maybe this will trend, and maybe you'll be designing this for real. Who knows?
Maybe. No, any developers out there? No, just kidding.
We have a question. Where did you get that data from?
I went over the internet pretty quick. And like I said, research takes time, of course. If it's you doing the research, whether if you're doing usability testing or whatever you're doing, it takes time. For the sake of time, because we have only 2 days to design this app. Everyone has a different process and different ways to handle things. And of course, like I said, depending on the factors, like you got to think about budget, timeline, and a lot of stuff. But that data I gathered from the internet. I went in, did a small, like a really high level research on it, and then find that out. And then I put it in there just for you guys to have a little bit of context of what is going on and what we're going to be doing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right. So I'm ready. Are you ready, Elizé?
I am ready. Yay.
All right. So let's see. So we have some inspirations here. Okay. So did my research and my homework, and kind of like went through online and see like what other apps, and some of these apps are streaming apps that they stream anime, but I think they were good resources for inspiration. Like Crunchyroll is kind of like one of the top streaming apps for anime, as well as Funimation. Those two are insanely, like, they are competitors, but I just wanted to see like and I do have both of them. But I just wanted to see their UI and see like what they have and what's common between them. Also, there's other ones that I find that they were like kind of cool. There are certain things that I like about this one that I didn't like about that one, but we're gonna talk about it more later on. This is Prime Video. Probably you guys have it, Amazon Prime Video. They do have a category for anime, and this is how they display their anime. This is another app that streams anime as well, and then this one is another one. One thing that I've found in common here is that all these applications, the majority of them are using a dark, like a dark pattern, not a dark pattern, but a dark UI, right? Rather than, except for Funimation, that it's white. But this is something that I like to do. I like to probably do something within that realm, and not, because anime, it's in some way, we're talking about strokes and black lines and stuff like that. And I'm just thinking in my head, like there's a reason why they probably choose a darker, UI. So I think I'm gonna just like make some notes here, and I'm gonna make some notes here about the designs and what I like about this. For example, I do like that they are all, the majority are black, kind of. I really like this. I really like this kind of like dark grayish color that Amazon Prime has. So I will probably steal this color. So what I'll do is create it. Everyone has a different system, but I kind of like this color. I'm gonna just like copy this. I'm gonna just like eyedrop it. And okay, is this pure black? We'll see in a second. It is probably yes. That's good. So we have some colors here that I will, just have it in the back of my head when I'm designing the app later on. Okay, and this is like a darker version of that black. What do you guys think? So I will move this here.
It looks like people are really liking dark mode, and like Laura says, it really fits well for anime streaming.
Yes.
Marika says it's better on her eyes. Is there any other, like when you're looking at this and you're going through the competitors or inspiration, and you're talking about really liking the UI, the dark UI, do you still try and play around with other colors, or you're like just the feeling you get while looking at it, like, oh, I want to just kind of continue on with this theme, or do you like allow yourself to play around, or what's your process there?
I like to play around and just to see what other colors what might bring. Dark is the one that goes within anime, but then there's a reason why Funimation made it white. Why? We don't know, but I like to try out and see like if it works, if it feels right and it works, then because we start with something. Like the first design, it's never like the best one per se, because you're just putting together ideas, right? But then once you like settle on certain design choices, then you come to see the whole thing coming together. So I like to like go and dive into little things and change the colors, and we're gonna do that, like, and that's why components are so important, because if we change it in one place, it's gonna change everywhere, and then you're gonna see it everywhere. You're gonna see how it looks in the feel, and you be like, no, let's go back to dark or red or whatever color you picked. But I like that. That's the first thing I like about these. Another thing I like about this is you see how they use colors. They use black, right? And then they have an accent color, which is in this case is orange. I love that, and they bring that to the logo, the CTA, and also kind of like an active state on the bottom nav. So that's kind of nice. Same thing with Funimation on the logo and the menu, of course. All right, let's see here. This one is kind of blend, so I don't like this one as much. So that's a no go. This one is kind of blended too, and it's because probably they're using this two shades of purple, and then everything is just white. One thing I like about this one is just that anime logo. It's kind of cool, concise, pretty simple, and that's something that I wanted to do for this anime app. Something simple, because we don't have the time, of course, to create a logo. That's another beast. But I like that. So simplicity of the logo. Let's see. So simple logo. Let's see also accent color. So one thing I do a lot, it's using the 60-30-10 rule, which is 60% the primary color, 30% accent, the secondary color, and then the third one, the 10% is the accent color. But it changes. It depends on on the context of the, of the product that you're creating. It's not always the same, but it's a good start. I like to use a lot of neutrals because neutrals, they complement other colors as well. Like grays are great neutrals to play with. This application, there's too much going on right here. I mean, you don't know if that little house icon is part of the logo, but then you have the back button next to it. You're going to create some confusions there. So we're going to try to like avoid this type of designs when we're designing our app. So let's see, what else what I like about this? One thing that I noticed is that everything is in a portrait mode, and I like that rather than the landscape. We do have some landscape here in Funimation and also on Prime, but then everywhere else it's a portrait poster. So I like that. So what I'll do is I'll play around with it, but I like that better. I like the portrait better than the landscape.
And also we're seeing some people say in the chat, Bridget is wanting a little bit more contrast on the titles and body text, something that she mentioned. And Stefan would like to see more contrast. So those are some of the things that they're seeing in their kind of review of what we're seeing here.
Yeah, like you see here, some of the contrast here gets lost. And this comes, and that's why product designers and UX designers, we got to think about everything, right? Like you can barely see this. Probably this is a low res image, but accessibility is very important. You have to become kind of like a universal designer where you design for everyone, right? You have to design for people with hearing, that are impaired, with hearing, vision, all of that stuff. And, this type of stuff, accessibility, high contrast, is very important. So this is something that we're going to have to keep in mind when we're designing our app. And that's a great point. Legibility is also another one. Some people just like don't know how to do type scales and they just like, because they feel like it, and they make text, like 10 pixels text, and people cannot even read it. So you got to think about all of that stuff when you're designing a product. So that's a great point.
Yeah, and Heather's saying that the UI seems just very busy. And when we're looking, especially from like that kind of high level perspective, all those screens, it does seem like there's a lot going on all of them. What do you think are some suggestions you have around like how to make it still feel clean and not so busy when we have these posters that are like really quite visually striking?
Yeah, when you think about content and strategy in content and strategy, content writing, information architecture is like one of the most important things. That's when you start dissecting things that won't, that they don't matter. Sometimes designers and also probably stakeholders and PMs and POs, and they wanted to put everything in one page. And that's why when information architecture and content and strategy comes in, you start like putting things in place. You have to make things. You have to use your balance, right? Like your white page is your negative page. What's important on that page, or what's not important goes to a second level thing or a second screen. So it's very important that you, depending on the business goals, also, I'm thinking about like so many different things now, but depending on the business goals and the users and everything, you have to have a balance, right? And then, yes, you're going to find sometimes those clients and stakeholders that they want that in there, right? They want, instead of 3 lines, like let's go in here. And I've lit this so many different times. Let's say they want this title, but they want, instead of 3 lines, they want 7, 8 lines. What that would do is that will push things down, and then you will lose that real estate. But then we have to educate those stakeholders and clients and anyone and let them know why, why if we lose real estate, people are not going to see, the continue watching section, which is very important because people click on that and data is telling you, hey, this is important, that needs to be there. That's why you have to have a balance. And it's very, very important that you know, as a designer, you advocate for your design decisions, but also you educate other people on things like that as well.
Yeah, I like that you're talking about the education factor that we have to do as designers sometimes. And the fact that, you know, everyone wants that real estate, right? Content and strategy and stakeholders. And so you're kind of trying to balance all of that. And maybe when we're seeing really busy UI, we're starting to see that all these, you know, too many cooks in the kitchen, perhaps. And we're seeing the end result of that. So you kind of have to be the gatekeeper. So you got to be strong as a designer.
That's right. And be willing to fight for your decisions. I mean, if you feel strong about a decision that you think it's, you know, the right decision because you did your homework and you do your research and you said, hey, this works this way because X, Y, and Z, you have that, you know, you have rationale behind it to support you, you're golden. I mean, you're golden. Like, that's why we are product designers, UX designers, because, you know, we get that information. And when we present something, it's because we already did the research. We know this will work. Of course, there are circumstances where you will have to adapt to whatever, you know, the project, and you have to pivot, but then just keep that in mind. Like, always keep that in mind, that you have to advocate for your design decisions. All right, so let's see here. I don't like this, how this is looking. So let me just.
We had a question earlier about, like, do you see any pure black that's being used? Because, you know, that's, you know, we hear that you're not supposed to be using any pure black, or are these kind of a variation, or it's like a lighter black, a soft black, or a dark gray?
Are we talking about these?
Yeah, they're
colors?
saying like,
yeah,
that one on the left looks black.
This is black. This is pure black. Like, if we put them like right here, let's just put them against each other. This is pure black. This is like a shade of gray. This is like a darker, you know, shade of that gray, but it's almost black. And this is more grayish. It has more white to it, so you can see. But I'm not a fan of using pure black, like 100% black. Like, I don't like it. I've seen it in some products that they work, and I like it, but as a choice, like, I don't like to use 100% black. I'd rather, like, instead of using 100%, I go like just a tiny bit up, or depending, like, if I want a shade of blue in it, like, I go like straight here and then just, like, you know, play with it. But I never go 100% black. That's just me, but, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I think, like, that's typically something we should be doing as a best practice, because pure black, you know, we hear it causes some eye strain and stuff. So it's good, like, kind of like, I like the little trick you do. You go all the way black, and then you're like, pivot a little blue, a little, you know, a little lighter, you know.
Yep. Yeah, I think, so I took some notes here that I think definitely will help us design this app in a way that, you know, it works, that is clean, that it has accent color, that has a simple logo, that is using a dark UI. We're gonna also experiment with other colors just to see how it looks. Accessibility is very important, so we got that in there. We're gonna use portrait posters, and also we're gonna use a simple layout, something that is not so busy in your eyes, which, you know, I can see that from this one, from that one. Like, this one has like 9 in there, but then this one has 1 there. So much copy. Tabs, I think these are tabs. And then we have more posters in there. And then we have this logo pretty close to the home button, pretty close to the back button. That's a no-no for me. All right.
A lot going on.
A lot going on. All right. So I think we can, now that I took this notes and I took some of these colors from those, what I'm going to do is move on to the next section, which will be the information architecture. We're going to do something, you know, high level stuff, as far as like the hierarchy and also the information architect, the IA. So what I'll I like to name everything. This is just me, but that way it keeps me organized. And
I am like so unorganized. I'm the opposite. I don't label my artboards barely.
Well,
my layers.
Layers, with time, I think I have, you know, at first I remember I used to name everything, like all the layers, like in Photoshop. I remember back in the days, I was like, you know, like creating a folder, like effects, and then inside the effects, the texture, and then inside the texture, color, gradient, and then it was just insane. It was time consuming. What I like to do now, it's more like a high level stuff, and then the well, I still do it. I mean, I like to put things in folders, you know, like, so that way I know, like, okay, so these are my colors, these are my, and you'll see.
Yes, that's good. We'll learn from you. We'll learn from your organization. I've gotten more and more. I feel like who you are as a designer might reflect who you are and how organized you are in general, maybe.
Yeah, I think so.
You know,
somehow, yeah. I mean, like somehow, yeah, that stuff will get to you. And then if you're organized here, you'll probably organize in other stuff, but you might not be organized on certain stuff. Like it's just, you know, it's life. All right, so for the information architecture, I'm not going to go like crazy creating all these, you know, like high level stuff. We're going to do something quick. So let me see if I can, let's see something pretty quick, like a label. I'm going to do a high level stuff. So I'm not going to use this one. Do you guys use plugins? I love plugins on Adobe XD. They are just like time savers. And let's definitely see, whiteboard. Let's do whiteboard. But then I don't want to do that. I want to just pick one element and then start doing it. Like, okay. All right, label. Let's see. I think they still not responsive. See? I don't like this, guys. So what I'll do, I'll create my own that is responsive. So I'm going to go with, let's say, app name. Oops. So if I do an app name, and I'll do, I don't know, make it semi-bold. And I'll do small square, and then I go like this. Then I'll center both of them perfectly. Then I group them, Command G, Control G on a PC, remove that border, and then change that background to, I don't know, should I do colors? Should we do colors, or should we do just like black and white? What should we do?
And is this for, are you just creating the which screens you're going to be creating?
Yeah. Exactly. We're going to do like a high level stuff. Let's see. This is 38. We're going to do 24 then. And then let's get fancy and just like use this color. I like purple. Even in my
your background right now.
Yeah, my background is purple. Everything is purple. Even in my Instagram, my brand and everything is kind of like purple. All right, so we have this. We grouped it, and because we grouped it, guess what, guys? I can name this, and it has to grow. Come on. Okay, let's go into the.
If you want.
All right, and then let's create a component. I know what I'm missing. That's why. I was like, why is it not working? It's because I have to enable the padding, guys. Quick mistakes right there. So now it should work. If it doesn't work, I don't know what I'm going to do. There you go. So it works. So we're going to start with the app name. And then let's see what else. What can we do? We're going to have, I would say we can have some welcome screens. we're gonna have some welcome screens, and then from the welcome screens, we probably will have, I don't know, maybe like 2 or 3 screens that, welcome to, this app. And then the other screen will be probably like, you can search so many different anime. And then the other one probably will be kind of like, what can you do on this app type of thing. So people get to know, kind of like onboarding, but just the welcome screens. So I would do a welcome screen. I would do a secondary welcome screen, but you can call it track what you have watched type of thing. Then what else can we do here in the welcome screen? We can do like another page for like search and probably receive recommendations. It's kind of nice. Okay, maybe I should go back to the plugin and just grab some of those. You have some elements in there. Grab some of these bad boys, maybe. So that way great. So every design project calls for a different, UX process. Not everything is like what I'm doing right now. It's just because of the circumstances and the factors I'm using this process. But for a different project, you will probably not even do the high level information architecture. Maybe you're gonna probably the first thing you will do is a lot of research and talk to UX researchers and data analysts and talk to them and gather a lot of data, and then from there maybe you would not even do the high level stuff. Maybe you jump into wireframes right away. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, what matters is like you have a great product that works, right? So app name, welcome screens, and then within the welcome screens, we have a welcome, we have track, we have search your anime, you have recommendations, and then in the onboarding, let's do onboarding. After that, you're gonna get probably like a page about login page. Let's call it screen. We're not calling it page. And then from there, from the login, you're either gonna have register. So it's register, login, you're gonna register, or you're gonna probably, I don't know, not register, sign up now.
And I wonder, like, if someone doesn't know anything about, like, how do I structure an app, starting from scratch is new, what would be like some things you might recommend them to do if this process is a little challenging to just start with?
Definitely, you have to do your research, like I did a little bit back then. But there are also like UI design patterns, websites that will definitely help you with stuff like this. Like, for example, I had a mentee that one of my mentees, he was like designing an app. It was a college project. He was designing an app, but he totally forgot about the onboarding process, right? And he was like jumping from opening the app and the icon to the homepage. And the first question I had was like, how people log into your app? Like, how is it that they're gonna? And he's like, oh, but what are the screens that I'm like, yep, you have to do a research. But what you can do is go to this websites and you can Google it. Like, they're everywhere. You can Google like UI design patterns, and then you're gonna have a set like these amazing websites. They even have templates and stuff. So that way you kind of like know what you need to do, and as far as like, signing up process. Sign up, it could be very complex depending on the product. Login could be very complex as well when it comes to, like, should we use nowadays that technology has evolved, we can use our faces to, to unlock our phones. But before that, there wasn't a pattern for that. So people have to innovate and, come up with solutions to that section. So you learn by, doing your research. So that's the best, I think that's the best way to do, like, analyze designs from other UX designers and companies as well. A good source for that is also Google Material, also iOS, like you can go and check them out. There are all other design system also out there that will help you understand a whole flow of an app. But like I said, not every app will be the same. So you will nitpick from here, and there, and then you will put together what you need for your specific app. So
yeah. And to that point, like something I did, if you guys are like, okay, what do I do with that research? Something I did too is when I look at those apps is I just took screenshots of like flows, sign up flows. So ones that are within the same industry or maybe outside, completely different types of experiences, but you can just understand their sign in or sign up flow. And you take screenshots and I just put them all in XD and I just like study all of those flows to see what I like and what makes sense for my product too. So that's kind of like adding on to what you do there. What you're saying is just like, I'm all about those screenshots, and then I'm visual. So I want to like see those flows and then pick what I like and what I want to use for mine.
Yeah, similar to what I did here. This is a great point, Elizé. Like I took screenshots of these applications, right? And you're going to do the same thing for whatever flow that you're looking for, whether it's login, sign up, add to cart, a product page or whatever. You just screenshot, put it in your back pocket. And then when you're working on it, even though like if it's not the same industry, you might like stuff from that you can bring up to the new design that you're creating. So it's also, it's no brainer. Like it's just, you're pulling from everywhere to create a masterpiece. That's what it is.
Yes, I like the way you said that. And I like that you are already talking about it being a masterpiece. Be confident in yourself when you start too. I like that. Also, we are about halfway into our stream today. If you guys have just joined us, Ruben has been taking us through this anime recommendations app. We've looked at some inspiration. We've pick and chose things we like or that we think we can improve upon. Right now, what we're doing is looking at we're looking at information architecture. What's the architecture of the app? What are the screens we're going to be creating? So that's where we're at now. Also, if you are on YouTube, come over here, over to Behance. I'm chatting away. We're chatting away. We're having fun. Make sure that if you want to like connect and be able to ask questions, please put it in the chat or please join the chat with us here on behance.net.
Awesome. That's great. Anyone in the chat has any suggestions and questions? I'm just like thinking about, like if you log in, right? Once you log in or sign up or register, sign up and register, maybe this is probably not sign up. Maybe this is just register and sign in. Sign in.
Yep.
There you go. And then once you sign in, let me just grab all of this. This is not perfect, but you get the gist. Let's do it. And then I'm thinking about having like once you signed in, you have like a recommendation model or something that, hey, we have some recommendations for you, or, it's kind of like a personalization, like where you go in and you're like, okay, I like this, and this type of anime. And then based on your selection, then they will spell out, like popular animes that are, your choices and not, just random, anime in there. Let's do it. And maybe instead of let's do it, maybe later. I don't know. And then if you click later, you you're just gonna land into the homepage of that. That's my thought. So let's get it to the top here to have some hierarchy. So here we have the home. Let's say the home screen in there, and then from the home screen, I think I'll have 3 to 4 different bottom nav. Probably have home, probably have search, and maybe like a bank of like a list of like a watch list. Yes, a watch list of what I picked already. And then inside the homepage, we're gonna have probably what's popular. And then inside home, I'm gonna have the popular. And what else can I have in there? What else can we have in there? People in the chat, what do you want to see in there in the homepage? I know I want to see my popular animes, probably recommend it to me or something like that, maybe a section for recommendations, since this is a Discovery app.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Yeah, this is good. So let me just put a small in there. And I think we did pretty good as a high level stuff. I mean, there are so many screens, so I'll see if I can do this. But we're gonna use components.
We also have a question from Bridget. If you would create a questionnaire to aid the user discovery.
Yes. Well, not in this scenario, but I like to do, like, personally, when I'm designing something, I like to do tests, and I like to do prototypes and just like test them out just to see how well is being received, and if what I designed works. Sometimes, like, you'd be surprised. Sometimes you create something, you put it on testing, and some people don't get it right away. And this is normal. I mean, it all depends. And that's why it's important that you know your users when designing something, because you know what they like and how they feel and all of that stuff. Yes, we could be biased. I get that. But sometimes we have to put that apart and just like concentrate on the user's needs and not what I like. I was like that when I first started back in 2004-5. Like, I used to care about my designs and my designs only, and I don't care if the developer needed to do magic to make it happen. And that was me, but I was naive. I didn't know better, right? And I think because I saw that problem, I taught myself how to code. And then when I knew how to code, it opened up so many doors for me. Like, I was reading their language and I was able to communicate with them and being empathetic, not only with the users, because people think like, oh, I'm a UX designer, I'm empathetic with the users. But what about your teammates? What about your developers that you need to work with them? What about your project owners, project managers, data analysts, UX research? You have to be empathetic all the way around, not just the users.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. And I like the idea of, presenting, putting things out there, testing things out. Does it work? And actually, to that point, we have some other ideas people have threw out there. One that people are liking here, which is a surprise me feature. So, building some anticipation, that could be something that we would try out. So good recommendations.
Oh, cool. So I think we pretty have a pretty holistic, or at least some high level, or probably this is too intense, but I think we have a great start as far as like information architecture, right?
Yes.
So what I would like to do now is start wireframing, maybe make some wireframes that are rough. They're not going to complete full-fledged wireframes, of course, but some ideas of, some wireframes. So what I like to do here, let's see if there's some templates here that I can use as far as like, okay, quick mockup. This is a great plugin that you can use for something like pretty quick. You don't have to, go crazy about it, but this is one that is great. And there's another one here. Wireframer, which is nice too, is kind of cool, but it's kind of limited. Well, you saw it, I couldn't type in and I couldn't make the button responsive. So let's go to the quick mockup and just start with one of these bad boys. So we said we were going to start with the app name and then welcome screen. So for welcome screens, this is kind of like a welcome screen. So I'm going to pick this one. It's going to auto generate. It's going to do its magic. And boom, we have it there. It's way too long. So what I'm going to do is just press A on my keyboard, and I'm going to pick, let's do the Pro Max, the big one. And I'm going to just keep this section because I don't want all of that stuff on the bottom. That's not needed for now. So I like this one. So I'm going to just copy this back again to my layers panel. And then this is 2, 3, perfect. So I'm going to just select this whole thing, which I think didn't select at all, but well, let's try it out. It did, perfect. All right, so this is not perfect. So what I'm going to do is just like pull this. These are rough. So I'm going to get rid of this one. And then bring it down here. Then I'm going to call this just wireframe. So we said we have a welcome screen. That's number 1. Welcome. That's great. What I'm going to do, I'm going to lock this. Is Command L to lock it. Whoops. And then what I'm going to do is have another one maybe for the track. Okay, so this is for tracking. So I'm going to do track.
So it looks like you're using a UI kit. So the plugin is the wireframer, or no, quick mockup that you're using.
Quick mockup.
And you're like taking in elements of that you like about it, and kind of picking and choosing different pieces that fits the IA that you created there.
Yep, that's what I'm doing. Because wireframes, they could take a lot of time. I've seen people, taking hours and hours developing wireframes. Wireframes are, and what I like to do, I like to draw them actually, because it lets you think about the function of things rather than the UI and all of that fun stuff that will come later on. So wireframes are just like bare bones skeletons of designs that you put it there, you kind of have an idea what's going to go there, but you don't think about designing everything. Design will come later, so you can just focus on things that are functional.
Mm-hmm. You're thinking about like functions and where you're going to be placing things, or what are you thinking about when you're looking, and how close is this wireframe going to be to the high fidelity as far as the structure goes?
Yeah, as far as like I'm aiming to do all of them. I'm aiming, of course, one thing, to do all of these screens by tomorrow. But what I like to do here, what I'm trying to do here is just like do a high level wireframe as well. And just to have an idea when I come back tomorrow, that I know like, okay, so we have approximately 10 screens or whatever. And then what needs to be in those screens, right? Like, okay, we have text, we have probably images in there. We have like some buttons in there, or some sort of indicators and stuff like that. That allows you to think about that. rather than you just thinking about like, okay, what type of icon I'm going to put in there, what type of color I'm going to use for this. Not wireframes are just like that, just to high level stuff. You put it together pretty quick just to have an idea, and then when it comes to down to real actually designing the thing, that's when you start, creating like that. I'm envisioning this already. Like these welcome screens will be so easy to do because I'm going to use tomorrow, of course. So stay tuned tomorrow, come back again so you can see the whole thing, the whole story, I'm going to use a component that if I use that component, it's going to change everywhere. So it's not like I have to go and design each of those screens separately and like, no, it's going to be so much easy. And you're going to see how we're going to fly through that. Well, I'm saying that right now. I don't know, maybe tomorrow.
Well, we're excited.
we bump into something, right?
Yeah. Love it.
Like, all right. So what I'm doing here is, okay, we have the welcome, we have the tracking, your what have you watched, we have the search. Let's do the login. All right. So we have some login screens. I think I saw some login or sign up screens in here. So I'm going to probably use that. There you go. Well, they use a model in here, but let's do that. All right, so what I'm going to do is go here, copy this, come back here. I can just remove this whole thing, just have it's a model. I'm gonna leave it as a model now, but maybe I can change my mind tomorrow because I don't think there's a need for a model in a sign up page. You can definitely use the whole thing. Actually. What about it? It's gone.
Just that easy.
Just that easy. That's it. See guys how I make that decision right there. All right, so we have an icon here that I don't like. We have a sign up page. You have your Twitter and stuff like that. I don't think we're gonna need anything like that. Keep signing. That's kind of cool. Great. All right, so from login, we're gonna have a register maybe. So you can register. So I'm just going to rename this register. That's good. And then once you signed in, you have a modal for recommendations. That's the one I was talking about. Or I'm not going to use the modal. Probably I'm going to use a bottom drawer, because I like bottom drawers. They're kind of cool. So I'm going to do recommendations. All right, so let's make this, I don't know, 32. Great. And then this is going to be kind of like a drawer, maybe. Maybe put it up there. I'm going to draw. Oops, what happened there? Rectangle. I'm going to use the eyedropper. I'm going pretty fast, guys. So this is me.
Now you're showing your fast skills.
Yeah, this is me going against the clock, right? Because I put myself into design like 20,000 screens, so I had to make it work. All right.
We're seeing a question here, or there's like a back and forth around whether the sign up and register should come before or after the welcome onboarding.
They should come after. The welcome screens are just to kind of like educate the users or let them know what is this app about. You know, some apps, what they do is they show you this for the first time, the welcome screens, and then after that, after you sign up or register or whatever, they go away. So you don't never see them again. This is just a way to introduce the users to the app or to the product. And it's a good, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's a great point. So you're talking about the two different types of flows. One is like for someone who's just gotten here for the first time versus somebody who's a returning user. So I think that kind of helps the conversation and answers those questions.
Perfect. Let's see. So we have recommendations, and then I think for those, I had to make two buttons in there. So what I'll do, let's see, elements in there. Okay, I have some buttons there. So I'm gonna do a label here. And this one will probably be, let's do it. That's my guess.
So I like that in this plugin, you have both templates that you can take from and pull in different pieces, but also it looks like over there, there's elements as well that you can just take some specific pieces.
Because not every, you have elements, like in my case, I use the elements because I have my idea. What they have already in place as templates might not work for me. So what I'm doing right now, based on the decisions I made before that to make certain screens, X, Y, and Z, then what I'm trying to do is just using those elements to my advantage and do what I wanted to do, rather than just like using a template and be constrained to that template.
Yes. Yeah, you have free reign to do what you want and manipulate it. Yeah, great.
All right, so this one probably will be later. I don't know. But then again, what do you guys think in the chat? And this is a simple question just to me, like, let's do it. Should be on the left or on the right? What do you guys think? Like, does it make sense for you to do it now? And because your thumb will move to the right away to put the let's do it on the right? Or because people don't want to do recommendations right away, they can click later and they can go right into the homepage. What are your thoughts?
We have, we're still waiting on answers, but I think I would put it to the right, because then you can, like, someone's saying top/bottom. We have some say right, later on the left. Okay, it's a little mixed, but I think mostly on the right. I want to vote for right.
All right, so let's
do those recommendations.
So let's do it on the right. Whoops. Okay.
Someone said a bigger button in the middle. Oh.
Ooh, but what about if I don't? What about if I don't want to do it? Because you force. That's a dark pattern right there. Because I'm forcing you to do the recommendations.
Maybe it could be like a bigger button, and then on the bottom it's like later, and
okay,
it's not in a button. You know, we still are pushing them in a certain direction.
Okay, I like that. That's good. So let's do it now, and then later, let's do like a link, like a little, regular pattern. So let's do 1 second here. I lost my train of thought here, but what I'm gonna do is just like make it look like a link. And I like to center this as much as I can. All right, so you feel compelled to click on that big button that says let's do it, and then you do it.
I love the big button that just says let's do it. It just makes me pumped up. Like, I don't know what we're doing, but let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, so let's see. What can we do? Like, we have the homepage, we have the search, and we have the watch list. All righty. I think we can, let's see what they have here for some of the temp. Whoops, not this one. For the home, let's see. I'm looking for something. The thing is that I don't like to deviate from going from black and white wireframes to a blue one. So no.
I have like a little hack for you. I mean, I have a little hack for that, but
what is it? Fill it out.
Well, if you did bring it in, you could try it if you want to bring one in.
Let's do it. I think I know
Try a
what you're
hack
gonna
live.
do.
You do?
I think I know, but
Okay.
I want to make sure, like, if it's the same.
You probably do.
What am I doing? It's wireframes. All right, so let's see. For the homepage, we want an image, and also we want a little bit of text. So an image and a text.
I think I kind of saw one above.
All right, let's see. Help
Like
me out here.
stuff over here. Is that kind of like image and text?
Maybe that one has a video, which is good because I'm going to be using a video. Let's see. I think I saw. Oh, there you go. There you go.
Oh, yep, done.
All right. Create it. Here. Let's see. I'm going to zoom out and bring this bad boy to the other wireframes. All right. Let's see. What's the trick? I think I have one, but I don't know if it's the same.
Okay, great. So like with all of that selected, you're going to go into the top, what is it called? Your assets panel.
Oh my God, it's the same. You're going to create a color and then just change it, right?
Yeah, you could add all the colors at once.
Yep. You just select everything. You go in here, go like this. And then you just, whoops, hold on. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Oops, edit.
Yeah.
And then I use this. I use this when I have, like, I'm creating something and then I wanted to change the color completely just to see how it looks. But then, you know, now you have a component, right? And then if I go like this, watch this, guys. Watch this. If I go, all right, so let's change this bad boy to changes everywhere. It's using that color, which is cool. All right, so thank you for that.
Yeah, cool.
So let's do the homepage. So what I'm gonna do is just like duplicate this, just remove everything in there, and then just bring probably the image. This. I think I'm good. I think I'm good for now. All right, so I'm gonna bring this bad boy here. We're gonna make this, well, since we're talking about making it taller, maybe, I don't know, maybe the popular one will be this big, maybe not, I don't know. We'll see that tomorrow. We have some text there. And I know for sure we're gonna have a navigation at the bottom, of course, which according to Google Material, the bottom nav should be 56 pixels height, but you can make it whatever how you want, as far as like if it works. See, that's kind of small for me, so I'm gonna just do it like this. I'm gonna have the navigation there. Maybe we're gonna have some of those recommendation sections somewhere in here, maybe. I don't know. I'm just gonna some recommendations. Probably is this aligned with the top? I have to align this. Come on. Ooh, there you go. I'm just like, yeah.
When you're trying not to be pixel perfect, but you can't stop.
Oh, you can't stop. It's just like, come on. Oh, there you go, 16, perfect. All right, so this is our home page kind of thing. This is great. We said we were gonna do a search, which I'm gonna use this one for the search. I'm gonna just get rid of this. Cool. And probably the search, do we have some search somewhere in here in the quick one? Let's see. we don't probably have searches, or do we have some searches in here? Probably don't. Doesn't matter because we're gonna create our own. Okay, so I'm gonna just put this in here, and just for the sake of I need an icon, a quick icon. It's not gonna be this one probably, but I just need a quick icon that I can put in there as a reference, so I know that this is the search and that I need to use this giant thing in there. And then finally, we're gonna have the watch this.
So we have the plug-in icons for design that you're using, and you're able to just like pull in any icon from there, it seems.
Yes, I use icon for design, but it's not my favorite. I use it for things like wireframings and stuff, because icons they're like another thing to think about. Like, I don't want to put just a regular icon. I want it to be consistent with the design. And sometimes you see designers using this type of icons which is an outline, right? But then sometimes you see other ones like filled in, and then you have inconsistency within iconography, and I don't like that. So when it comes to icon, I'm like very picky about it. I'm like, okay, I need to. So for tomorrow, I did my research and I looked for the icons that I will be using for these. And hopefully you guys like it. I mean, they're not super special, but they look clean, and I love clean designs.
Okay, so will you share with us like where you get the good icons at?
Yeah. Oh no, yeah, definitely. I can definitely share some of the stuff.
Cool.
Especially from one of a colleague. He's a Instagram, mentor as well, and he has a great library of stuff, icons, 3D graphics, photography. Like, it's just amazing.
Oh, what could we share that? Or who is this person? I can share it.
Yes, it's Ruben UX. He put together a library of all these resources for designers that they are just insane. They're just amazing. Okay, so maybe we have some anime in there, maybe watch list. So based on this, so we have popular, recommended, and that's probably in here on the homepage. Okay, that's good. So we have approximately 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, we have 9 screens. Not bad. I think maybe this is gonna grow a little bit maybe tomorrow when it comes to actually putting data and putting actual, content in there, media. I'm gonna use videos and stuff like that for my prototype. So great. All right.
We have a couple questions here. Do you use grids when designing, and if so, at which stage?
I don't, like, to be honest. I used to use grids, but because I have I think a trained eye already for stuff like this, I don't use grids. But if you're starting right now, grids are great ways so you can use space properly, in you can definitely use grids, and it's columns as well. Like columns I've seen people using for mobile, using like 4-column layout, for website using a 12-column layout. I used to use them before, like a lot, and they work. But like right now, to be honest, like I don't use them because I already have like I already kind of like know where things. Well, you kind of like saw me going in here with the perfect pixel, like trying to align this with this. Some people might be like, okay, it's okay, but to me, that I know like for sure that that's not gonna work. So what I'll do is like trying to make sure like my spacing is right, that's what it's all about. Grids will help you have a balanced design, whether you're working on a website, whether you're working on a software, a mobile app, or whatever. Grids will keep you inside and kind of like lets your design breathe a little more.
Okay, great. And like, I guess it kind of goes to another question from Misty is like, do you have any best practices when designing UI, UX?
Yes, I have so many. Oh my God. What can should we do UI or should we do UX? Which one would you guys want me to talk about?
Let's do both. Like, who you guys want to talk more about UX or UI for what are some best practices? Or maybe we can give like a couple for each, just like 2 or 3 for each.
Yeah, like for example, this is using a 4-column layout, right? Like a grid or 4-column layout. I can expand it and make it even bigger to kind of like go with what I'm doing. But you see this, like this is perfectly within the 4-column layout. This will definitely help you have a balance and have, a better representation when working on design. Design principles are your allies. They will help you think about color, contrast, balance, hierarchy, all of that stuff. So let's say you're working on something that is dark, right? And I'm just going to make a super simple example. And then if you bring this watch list to this dark, background, what do you think is going to happen? You're not going to be able to see it. You can barely see it. If I even go darker, like you're not going to see it. So contrast is just about this. So what if I wanted to make this colorful, but at the same time with contrast? So, to your picker, you still have contrast. Of course, you will have to test this out, right? Passes the 3.1 for object and the 4.1 for text, but and I'm talking about web accessibility,
That's like a whole nother best practice is like accessibility as well. And one of the first things to think about is, color contrast.
Color contrast, that's going to be your ally. Then let's talk about, what looks best as far as like layout and stuff and balance. Like if I put this right here, it doesn't look good, right? It doesn't. So what you do is like, if you want to have a balance, you need to have it center, right? That looks balanced left and right. But what about top and bottom? It looks kind of empty. This negative space here, something is missing there. But then if you go and that looks good, you know what I mean? That looks good for the sense of, design layout. Like you can see that this looks good. But then when you start adding more stuff, let's say you add something like this on the bottom and you want this on the bottom too. You see that there's more space on the top. That's when you have to, okay, so I have to make it, work. And how do you do that? You select everything and the whole project and you center it. If it's center, of course, you're gonna have times where everything is left aligned and you have left aligned stuff. And then you're gonna have probably squared. You're gonna have a picture or something in here. Oops, didn't create it. Hold on. Oh, there you go. So you're gonna have something in there. But then if it's this moving towards the right, if I go back again to my grid, it's not aligned. So it's not well balanced. But if you push it and then you push this too, that looks better. That's why I'm always, and I wrote this book about design principles, because if you understand design principles, the choices that you make will be way better than a person that doesn't know design principles. And this is something that I learned in school. I went to college and learned it that way. But then after that, they teach you the basics, right? But then when you actually experience that and do it, and you're like, why my design doesn't look good? Why is it? And it's because you don't have that mentality. You don't know how to combine colors, right? but it's because you don't have that design principles. You don't know color theory. But then if you study color theory and you analyze it and you understand it, it's going to be a lot easier for you to understand and do better design decisions. Let me take a sip of water here.
You're like, I just dropped a ton of stuff right there. You're talking about balance,
right
proximity, contrast. There was a lot that just within just that one small section, right? So yeah, that was great.
Also, another one that I want to bring, color, is the one that a lot of people ask me colors, like advice, and how do you pick that color? Why would you pick that? How would you pick the best color combinations? Colors are very tricky, right? They're tricky because everyone is using different devices, different brightness in your devices, different computers. But if you get the gist of color combinations and how they work, then you make it work. Like, for example, let's do a color combination in here, which, by the way, tomorrow I'm gonna be using a gradient thing. I think I'm using a gradient or something in that realm where we're going to be using different colors just to see how it looks, but then we will change it accordingly and see what works best. But colors, for example, let's pick this color, for example, and then just pick a really bad one, right? All these work, right? But then let's do this. Watch.
I love a bad gradient.
Yeah, hold on. I think my best is this one. Watch.
Ooh, yeah.
Hold on, I think I know.
Nice brown in the middle.
Three. No, hold on.
I like that you have a best or a worst gradient combination.
Worst, yeah. I think this one, I think it's kind of like I think it's orange and hold on. I think it's orange and where is it? It's kind of like in the middle there. And I see it every time and it's just, I can't, like, it's just bad. Like, I'm gonna collect this. Like, I've seen stuff like this. And when I see it, I just like, what is going on? Like, why people do that? Like, and there are complementary colors. There are other type of colors like, I lost my train of thought. But there are complementary colors, analog, and you can make great combinations. Let's say, for example, you want to use this green, this lime green. You know, what you could do, something that is easy to do to make this work, right? It's just to pick the same color and just like go to the shades of that color. So if I go and pick this color, which is this, I'm going to put the same one. So it's going to look pretty bad. See, it's up here, right? But then if you go down, just drag it down. What if you want to add more blue to it, right? But then play with the handles. See how that changed from what we had to something like this? This works. I bet if you test this on a contrast, on a web contrast, it will pass the 4.0 accessibility test. This works. But then what we had before, which is this bad boy, that doesn't work, right? Another combination, for example. Let's do something for fun. We have time?
Yeah, we've got about 15
all right,
left.
So
yeah.
This is great. So let's do another one that I've seen. Oh my God, this is gonna be bad.
I love it. I like to see all the bad ones. This is my favorite thing to do. We should have a design challenge, which is like ugliest design challenge. I feel like that would be fun.
like for example, look at this one. For example, this is another one. Let's do another angle just so that way. Ooh. This, like, it doesn't work. Like, of course, you gotta, depending on the context of your product and the brand essence and all of that fun stuff, you can just pick a color that, even like flat color, like instead of you using a gradient or a radial, just go to solid and make it contrast. That's the first thing. So if your color is this color, but it doesn't pass the contrast, then, go this way just to see. Try different things. Everything is about trying to see if it works. If it doesn't work, then change it. Same thing as typography, for example. People mistake typography. Let me just change this because this is going to hurt my eyes. Typography, for example, like how do you choose typography? There are typefaces and there are fonts. A typeface is a collection of fonts. So get this into your mind because people get this confused all the time. A typeface is a collection of fonts, meaning that this is a typeface. It's called Noto Sans, right? This is a typeface. This, if I change it to regular, that is a font. A font, it's part of a typeface. It's just using different weights. And people, and even myself, when I studied this back in 2005, they tell you about what is typeface, what is fonts, but then everyone was just saying fonts everywhere. Like, oh, can you pick a font? And I'm like, okay, but it's just a typeface, but people call it font. And then I just started calling it font, right? And it's still, everyone is just like, oh, pick this font or whatever. But in reality, typefaces are collection of fonts, and then fonts are part of a typeface, which just different, thickness, if it's light, extra light, bold, semi-bold, black, but that's stuff that you need to understand, and that's why it's important that you study design principles. As far as like UX stuff, UX is another beast. UX is kind of like the biggest thing, and then UI is inside UX. But then UX, when it comes to UX, you have to think about user-centered approach. You got to understand what the user needs, and in order for you to understand user experience, you need to educate yourself, whether it's through college, whether it's through an online course, taking tutorials, taking UX challenges, whatever you need, but get your hands into doing like real things, what's out there. Because people think like they're changing careers to UX, and they think they're going to do it within 2 months or 3 months. And no, this stuff takes time. You have to be patient. But if you put in the work, trust me, you're going to get what you want. You're going to get the job that you want, the job that you deserve, the job that you really want to do. But you have to educate yourself, whether it's through whatever outlet you want. And this is something, Elizé, this is something that I always tell everyone on my Instagram account. People want things to be easy for them. Like they just want things to be like quick, easy. Yes, I get it. Technology is evolving like as we speak right now, but you have to put in the work. Like I know amazing designers that they don't go to college, but they educate themselves on UX and UI, and they are amazing designers and working for crazy companies, right? Big companies, corporations, or small companies, it doesn't matter. They're just great designers, right? But you don't see what they did to get to the level that they are today. They go to conferences, they read about, everything. They take online courses, they put in the work. And that's what I like to see, that people don't just think like, oh, because the UX industry is blooming, it's growing, as it's growing right now because of everything that is happening with technology. People are just like changing careers and being like, oh, I want to be a designer now. I want to be a UX designer. Okay, it's not that simple, buddy. Like it's not. From your perspective, what do you think? Do you have that type of mentees or people that come to you and they're like, well, I don't have a job. Well, you don't have a portfolio. How come you're going to get a job if you don't even have a portfolio? So what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think that it is hard because this is a growing industry. People are getting excited about, they want to hop on, but we do, as mentors and educators and people who are creating, Instagram channels, we should be educating that, it's not a, not a one size fits all. It's not a secret pill to get to the end result there. There is a ton of hard work. And, the people who are on here, it's so great to see you guys here because people like yourself who are watching, observing, learning, spending hours with us over the next few days, taking these learnings on, applying it to yourself and your skills, putting it on Behance. We see you. We see you working hard. We've seen people who are watchers actually become Adobe Live presenters and show the skills they've learned here. So it's just really exciting to see. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's great. And I always say this, like, it takes it like people see you and they're like, oh my God, they have so much success on X, Y, and Z. Success is, it's subjective and it all depends. What might seem to me successful, it might for other person be like, okay, he's doing okay. So people don't see what you accomplish before being successful, like all the things that you have to do and to go through before even like getting where you at today. So people just focus, and this is just an advice for you guys. Like, don't focus on the end goal right away. Like, you starting today as a UX designer and you thinking about how much you're gonna make and how, like, forget about that and enjoy the journey, because as you go, eventually that the end goal that you want, it's gonna be there waiting for you. Like, it's going to be there. So what you're doing, reading, taking online courses, collaborating, doing whatever you need to do, practice, enjoy that journey, because then while you enjoy that journey, that what you want at the end is going to come to you and you're going to get it no matter what, because you're doing it. So
yes. Yes, I think that's great advice. Enjoy the journey, enjoy even messing up. Right. Enjoy
oh my God.
knowing that that's part of the journey. Also, we are seeing Brandon Gross in the chat. He's saying hello to us. Hello. He's going to be going on. Yeah, you're going to be going on next. We're excited to see you. And we have some other people who are really enjoying that life advice. And probably because everyone here is going through a transition, I'm sure. I'm going through my own transitions in life. We have about 10 minutes left. Maybe let us know kind of where we're at right now and what we're planning to see tomorrow too.
Yes. So today we cover so much stuff. We talk a lot about design and UX. We talk about the inspiration for this app. We took some notes about what we're gonna be doing. We took some samples of some of the designs here and some colors, which I'm not gonna use, but we're gonna just pick from there and just deviate and make our own. We created today for those who are joining us now, which is kind of late, but doesn't matter. You can come back and rewatch this, and then tomorrow you can come back and finish this with us. We did some high level information architecture about the app. I think I went overboard, but doesn't matter. We're gonna make this happen. We decided to create some rough wireframes as far as the welcome screens, some sign up, register, some recommendations, the homepage, the search, and the watch list. I think we cover so much today, and tomorrow what we're going to be doing is actually designing these bad boys, creating some components, designing all the screens, bringing some artwork in here, bringing some colors, some gradients, some typography, some iconography in there, some video, some lotties. I can't wait. Tomorrow is going to be a great day because we're gonna see this, live. We're gonna make it happen. And God knows if I decided to move forward with this and make an app for real.
Yes, loving it. And so are you done with all the wireframes, or were there any more that you were still planning on creating?
I think I probably will create A few more, like maybe two more, I would say. Something probably like, what if once you do, let's do it, whoops, what kind of, okay, yeah, I have an idea. What can I do here? So if you say, let's do it, it's going to go into another page with probably a few options or an option, maybe an option. Yeah, I'll do that. Maybe an option here that, have you watched this? Yes, no. If it's yes, then, it'll give you more. Yeah, I will probably do that. Like, let's say if you watch an anime already, or based on the recommendation, because this is going to be the recommendation section, maybe we're going to have yes and no. And then based on your answer, then it's going to move forward to the next option, and then the next option. And then once you're done with it, then it's going to kick you back to the homepage, where in the homepage, you're going to have your recommendations. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay, so the flow is like recommendations, let's do it. Then you get to see titles, and like, depending on titles you have seen, we can got to get a feel and personalize it for the home screen. Yep. Got it. Yes. I love it. And then in the home screen, you also talked about like is in your home screen all the recommendations, or is that kind of what's all living on the screen here?
Yeah, what I'm thinking about is having probably, maybe this is too big. Maybe have the populars here. And then probably this will be a swipe maybe to the right. And then in here, the recommendations will be kind of like in here. Maybe I move this a little bit. This is rough, so. Yeah. Maybe some recommendations at the bottom here. We don't know yet, but this is kind of like the idea I have. So you have the popular, kind of like being the main hierarchy going from top to bottom. Like, this is what's popular. Maybe the recommendation maybe at the top. Maybe they will be at the top, and then the popular would be at the bottom. That's something that we're gonna do tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I also like, someone mentioned earlier, like trending was something that they thought could be interesting too.
Maybe, yeah.
As a
maybe
category.
We can call this, yeah, maybe we can call this
people
trending.
always want to be on a trend, people always want
Yeah, maybe trending. Yeah, I like that. Instead of popular. Yeah, that sounds good.
Because what would be on there is like that show you watched
Demon Slayer
Demon Slayer. I was gonna say Dragon Slayer. Demon Slayer would be on there, and then I'd be like, oh, I have to watch it.
Definitely. But yeah, thank you guys for all the recommendations. This definitely makes sense. And of course, tomorrow we're gonna have so much fun actually creating the components, actually putting together all these screens. And let's see. We're gonna use, like I said, I'm going to be using video because, of course, Adobe XD now allows you, for those who don't know, you can use video on your prototypes, which they look amazing.
Yes, super. I love it. And we have a question here from Russell. Do you have any favorite podcasts or YouTube channels?
Yes. Podcast Design Matters is the first one that comes to mind. That's the one that I'm like, if I wanted to hear something right away. Design Matters by Devi. I forgot her last name, but Design Matters is really good. It's amazing. I do also hear UX podcast, but it's in Spanish. That's for another guy in Argentina, which is pretty good. As far as like YouTube and stuff, to be honest, like, it's insane, but I watch your videos, Elizé. I watch. Yep. I watch Mike Janda. I watch Jesse show. I watch Brandon. I watch so many different people, and it's, even though like I said, I have all these years of experience, I don't know it all. So I'm learning from everyone. So that's what I do. I just like, they're talking about a topic that is interesting to me. Guess what? I'm going to watch it, and maybe out of it, maybe we are on the same page, but maybe they say something that I didn't know about. And that's what I like about learning every single day, you know? So keep that in mind. Okay.
There's also one that I really like. She's called Iowa or something like this. I'm going to look for it and send it to you guys. But she's all about user research. And I really like that she has a channel just about that, which is a pretty hot topic. I know sometimes it's hard, especially when we're visual people, to think more about research. So I'm going to place that one in the chat for you guys as well.
Cool. That's great.
So let's see here. We have some people who are putting in some more podcasts that they recommend here as well. We've got some YouTube channels that are being shared. I also feel like Medium is such a good resource too for learning about UX as well. So that's another opportunity too.
Yes, if you like
UX
to read.
goodies.
Yeah, if you like to read, then Medium is definitely like a go-to. As far as like blogs and stuff, I have tons of those, like UXPeen, Creative Block. There's so many out there, but you have to be, specific with the things that because there's a lot. The internet is flooded with a lot of information. So make sure you look for one that you really like and then stick with that one. Because there's a lot of information. It could be overwhelming for somebody that is coming in for the first time, like, okay, I want to start reading about UX, and then they just Google things and it's just like all over the place.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of the big challenge here is like, how do I, we want to learn, but we don't want to like overwhelm ourselves too. And we don't want to feel like, when you have too many options, you start to be like, I don't even know anything then. Like I'm starting off so small. So, what is like a couple of things that you recommend people, if they're just starting out, what is like one or two things that you recommend to kind of focus them and to kind of feel accomplished slowly, in the beginning of things?
I have not two, I have like 20 of them, but I'll give you a few. First thing you need to do is make sure like if you pick in this career that like you actually commit into this, like not just because you heard that somebody turned to UX design and he's doing better or whatever. You have to think if this is the right fit for you. That's the first thing that you need to do. If this is the right fit for you, you like to tackle challenges, you like design, you like this, then you move to the next phase, which is research about it. Like, what is UX? What does it mean? Like, what is it that you do? What are the tools that you use? Like, research about it. And then once you understand that, go and pick one or two books about UX. Read about it. Like, think about, like everyday design things. That's one of my favorite books about UX. That is really good. Read about UX. And then once you understand like what job entails, what you can do, then from there, jump into an online course. And then in an online course, you're going to learn certain things that you're going to put into practice. And then you're going to practice UX challenges. And then as soon as you practice UX challenges, you're going to create case studies. You're going to practice more and more. You're going to keep networking with other peers. You never stop learning. So this is something that if you think you learn it and that's it, like, no, like we have to evolve with technology, right? Like, look at now the metaverse and AR, VR. So get to work, guys.
I just love all the knowledge you're dropping. And, I feel like we have so much more we'll cover tomorrow too. Stay with us 12 p.m. for part 2. And don't forget to follow the UX Creative or XD Creative Challenge coming up next with Brandon Gross. Thank you so much, Ruben. We appreciate you. We're so excited to do tomorrow's session and see you could make this animation come to life. So super excited for that.
All right. Thank you so much.
Bye, guys.